Welcome back to Footy Classified. A month ago, Port Adelaide were firmly ensconced in the top two, and we talked about it was almost a certain grand finalist. They've lost 4 out of their last 5 games. They went down to Richmond yesterday at Etihad Stadium, and the numbers, Lloydie, when you have a look at them, aren't great.
No, and when Ken Hinkley spoke about they're being hunted now, and I think when you're being hunted, you've got to be strong over the footy and be the hunter at the footy, and they've gone from 3 to 10 in contested footy, so that's a poor ranking for them. Marks 2 to 15, they've lost their key defenders. Points from stoppages, that midfield has just fallen right away. So 2 to 16, Brad Ebert struggling, Chad Wingard struggling. So anyway, there's deficiencies everywhere, and cracks are starting to appear.
Trengove and Carlisle, two massive outs at the moment. Trengove not back for some time. Carlisle maybe this week, if not certainly after the bye. 17 inside 50 marks to Richmond. They couldn't find a match-up for Lloyd, couldn't find a match-up for Vickery, and couldn't find a match-up for Riewoldt.
And that's why I admire Hawthorn where they're sitting, Gaz. They've lost Lake and they've lost Gibson. They lost Brad Hill, they lost Rioli. That's a sign, of a strong club, and that's where Port have struggled.
And yet they beat a full-strength Adelaide at home.
Crows, that's right.
It's possible the Tigers get hot too and frustrate everyone on the way home with a few more wins.
Well, if they come with that attitude, Hutchie, I mean, the talk today was that this was their grand final, which begs the question, you know, where was that attitude earlier in the year?
Oh, it'd be so frustrating for Richmond supporters, and you know the crowd, 21,000. You know the club is been so disappointing. But back to Port, they've got Melbourne this week. You would think they would win that. Hawthorn have got Sydney and could well lose that, and Port could be back into the 4 by the end of this round. Now, do you reckon they'll make the top 4 now? They did come back last year after a slump.
It's such a dangerous. It's almost futile to try and project that far ahead because, I mean, the Western Bulldogs have jumped up. Oh, of course they can. I mean, they can get their mojo together. But what they need, Lloydie's spoken about the players. Chad Wingard was an All-Australian 4 weeks ago. Right now, this was a stoppage where they were coming. The hit zone was to the right. That's Wingard with Cochin. He cannot let Cochin get goal side of him, and he does. And it goes to Riewoldt. Riewoldt marks it, and it's snuffed. Now, that's a will thing. You've got to will yourself there, Chad Wingard. So people say, why don't they throw him in the middle anymore? Well, Kenny Hinkley would say, you're not going in the middle because you let Cochin get to the most dangerous side, you gave him a goal and the game was over.
Especially when they're an undersized defence. And it might be one of the reasons why Chad Wingard wasn't allowed off the ground a number of weeks ago. Ken Hinkley said, stay on the ground.
Exactly.
He's still trying to test him.
I've got no doubt it is. He's got beautiful skill, but that sort of thing would frustrate. Their structure in the middle of the ground was all at sea. They had no sweeper there. When Richmond were charging, they had no one at the back of the pack. Fundamental stuff. The first 2 players at that ball were Richmond midfielders, and it was an issue for them that they kept moving the ball from the middle of the ground. I mean, it doesn't matter who your defender is there, Carlisle. But again, I mean, you have a look at this. Ball gets forward. Where's your sweeper? Where's the bloke at the back of the pack? Under 15 stuff. Have your sweeper there. And it was just too easy in the end. And the appetite for Richmond for that contested footy, full credit to them, was enormous.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's a mindset for them, or is Darren Burgess, who is hyped and spoken about, have they got their run going too early and they've fallen in a heap maybe from a fitness?
Well, it's not his fault they're not getting the footy.
No, but also I'm just wondering, are they not running out games? Is it between the ears? Is it fitness?
Well, the tackle count gives you an insight. Yeah. The tackle count gives you an insight into their mindset. Their ruckman, Matthew Lobey, had 12 tackles on his own. There's a dozen players who totalled the same amount. So for me, that's your answer to your question.
Sorry, just the reason I make that point, Essendon have fallen in a hole a number of years. They go so hard in the pre-season that often it can catch up.
It's incidental, but it's incidental, not in any way a reason, but not a great look that their fitness boss, their high-powered fitness boss, makes his reality TV debut this week either.
But that all happened a few months ago.
But it's about perceptions and everything. Chaplin over-celebrating on the weekend. He kicked 2 goals. First one was the jumper grab. You've been a critic of him in on-field during the year, Lordo. Did he go too far on the weekend, or was it emotion spilling over?
Emotion spilled over. I think he's beaten his old club. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it all from Troy Chaplin. They haven't had much to cheer about. He's had a poor year. Probably his greatest quarter of the season. He's got excited.
And he's got some. I'm sure it was worthy of a
I wasn't.
He's not on the same page with his ex-teammates, Carey. You've got a bit of mail on this.
No, well, Travis Boak made it quite clear, had a go at Chaplin and had this to say about Troy Chaplin over the weekend.
I mean, they're winning, so I guess he can do what he wants, but yeah, I hope he's enjoying the year they're having.
Now that is you don't often hear Travis Boak talking like that about anyone in footy, let alone an ex-teammate. We've spoken Footy Classified to Warren Treadray, who has seen an internal email that Troy Chaplin sent the team and the club after he left, telling them he was a leader at that club, ways that they could improve. And including
I think that stage
unity and teamwork, didn't really go down well, given that he was leaving.
The leadership group have forgotten that.
Caro, no, sure we don't want to do that, Gary. Caro, Tim Watson was out of line with his comments on Kane Corn's staging. Good call, bad call?
Good call, didn't like it at all call. Even Brendan Goddard said that Kane Corns didn't stage, and that is a very low blow if you haven't done your research and you don't know for sure it happened.
Lone Wolf, Matthew White has taken the keys from Bontempelli. Good call, bad call?
I'm going to go bad call. It was an unbelievably good goal. I'm still in the Bontempelli camp, but I tell you the stage where I love this. He had nothing up the head, took 2 bounces, and just about now he thinks, what am I going to do? I have another go. And he found another gear, Matty White, against his old side.
Goose step.
And look, actually, gee, it's a good goal. It's a really hard one, but I'm going to stick with the Bontempelli goal at this stage.